Hey everyone, welcome back to Robbie Rough Straws. I'd like to thank all the person that watched my first video. Actually, I think it was 9 persons. Anyway, have you ever wanted to start drawing, but didn't know where to begin? Sit down, open a sketchbook, or sit at your computer, or grab your tablet. You start drawing and say, damn, that's poop. There's so much information out there. Anatomy, perspective, lighting. It can feel like you need to understand all of it before you start drawing anything. You don't. So today, I just want to simplify it. Just a clear way to make things less poop. Most people make one big mistake when they start. They begin with detail. Usually the eyes. It looks fine on its own. Now watch what happens when I build a head around it. Seem good? It's floating. There's no structure underneath it. Details are fun. They're satisfying. But they're not the foundation. If you start with detail, you'll get poop. Structure first. Always. One of the easiest ways to make drawing feel less overwhelming is to simplify what you're looking at. Instead of trying to draw the thing, try to draw the simple version of the thing first. Almost everything you draw can be broken down into basic forms. A head? Start with a sphere. Then attach a simple jaw shape underneath. Already, that feels more solid than just starting with an outline. Now the body. A lot of beginners draw the torso as one long flat shape. Wrong. That makes it harder to understand how the body is built. The torso isn't one shape. It's 2 main forms, the rib cage and the pelvis. So here are a couple simple ways to construct it. The first way, the egg method. First start with an egg shape. This represents the rib cage, basically the chest area. Then, underneath it, I draw another oval. That's the pelvis, or the hip area, and I connect them with a simple line. That line represents the spine. It helps me understand how the upper and lower body relate to each other. And it's just as a rough proportion guide. From the top of the head down to the bottom of the pelvis is usually about 4 heads tall. This gives you a sense of scale. Now, the second way, the box method. Instead of thinking in ovals, think in boxes. This box represents the rib cage. Then another box underneath for the pelvis. And again, connect them with a line for the spine. The box version makes direction and structure clearer, especially when you start turning the body. But one isn't better than the other. They're just tools. The important thing is that you're thinking in forms, not flat outlines. And once you start thinking like this, everything gets easier to build. Arms? Think cylinders. Simplifying doesn't make your drawing worse, it makes it controllable. These shapes aren't the final drawing, they're just a structure. You build on top of them. Once you start thinking in simple forms like this, the next step is learning how to make them feel alive. That's where gesture comes in. So what are gesture drawings, and why should you even do them? Gesture drawings are quick, loose sketches that focus on capturing the movement and energy of a pose, not the details. You're not trying to draw every muscle or get everything perfectly proportioned. You're trying to understand what the body is doing. Most gesture drawings are done in 30 seconds to a couple of minutes. The short time limit forces you to focus on the big shapes and the overall flow, instead of getting stuck on small things. And that's why they're so important. If you're looking for good reference for gesture drawing, try using images of gymnasts or ballet dancers. Why? Their poses are exaggerated and full of movement. You can clearly see the line of action, the stretch, the balance. Their bodies are pushed to the extremes. The movement is obvious, which makes it easier to see the flow of the body. You can also find reference on Pinterest, or you can check out the site Line of Action. The Line of Action website is a free online tool for artists to practice gesture drawing. It gives you timed reference images, usually photos of people in different poses, and you can draw them quickly within a set time limit, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and you can customize it to show figure drawing poses, hands, faces, animals, even environments. It automatically switches images when the timer runs out, which makes it great for building confidence and making your drawings feel alive. You don't need to spend hours practicing. I mean, if you love it, by all means. Here's a simple structure. 5 minutes warming up, long lines and circles. Five minutes gesture. Ten minutes focusing on one topic. Heads this week, hands the next week. Things could become overwhelming for a beginner, and you don't want to burn out. You don't need anatomy, perspective, lighting, rendering, and composition all at once. Pick one focus for the week. Go deep instead of wide. Depth beats chaos. Fundamentals matter, but fun keeps you consistent. If you love characters, practice heads and gesture. If you love cars, practice perspective. If you love creatures, practice anatomy. Interest fuels consistency. Consistency builds skill. You don't need to know everything at the beginning. It's about making things simple enough that you can actually begin. Start with shapes. Start with gesture. Keep your sessions structured. Don't rush detail. Alright, that's it for this one. If this kind of breakdown is useful, feel free to subscribe. And if one of the specific topics interests you, let me know in the comments. I can do a more detailed video on it, with the help of the idiot little robot. Until then, keep drawing. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.